Hey guys, I'm back, and oh my god, I'm shaved. I'm gonna get the beard back though. I hate this look. It's awful. It is. It makes me feel 14, and actually kind of takes me back to the days I listened to this album. It does, and how weird I thought it was, and I didn't even give it a proper chance. But now I do have the proper chance to review this album, so let's do it. Review. Let's get to it. So, Demon Days came out in 2005 and internationally released through Paraphone, which is awesome. I mean, cool. They stay with the same labels. Cool stuff. The album was produced by Gorillaz and Danger Mouse, Jason Cox, and James Dring. I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. And this album is more focused on dark pop, some hip-hop, and a little bit of punk influence in there too, to spice things up, and electronica. This album's still experimental for sure, keeps that Gorillaz edge to it from the previous album, but doesn't have the same exact sound, which is also a good thing. It doesn't have that dry sound that they were going for, or what he was going for in the first album. First track on the album is Last Living Souls, which is really MIDI based, with Damien's vocal delivery very lazily sound. With the delivery here, it's a really moody song, and it has some really nice synth leads in there, orchestral strings, which are, I'm like, from my ears, I hear it's MIDI. Like, it sounds like a MIDI track to me. Then you got Kids with Guns, which has this really catchy bass line throughout the whole song, and a more prominent vocal delivery by Damien here. Simplistic instrument arrangements and some MIDI also thrown in there. This whole album's littered with MIDI, kind of like the last album. Not a big deal though, because the MIDI tracks here sound pretty fantastic for the most part. What I'm pretty sure the song is implying here is that kids, like, throughout the generations have become aggressively more violent with new technology and everything. Then we got the track Oh Green World. It's probably one of the real most punk songs on the album. Most of the other tracks on here have punk influence in there, but this is the song that has more heavy guitar riffs in there. The lyrical content here feels like it's touching upon like trash pollution in areas that he's in, and he wants it to return to where it's not as like bad. So noting that it is a human problem, like noting that it's what we created as a problem in our world. Sorry if my zit on here is distracting, it just emerged from my face. I don't like it. And then we got the song Dirty Harry. Clint Eastwood references. Oh, you Gorillaz. The song uses a more dance approach to it, and uses a children's choir in there, and it's really catchy, and you feel like kind of dancing to it, and it has a cool music video, by the way, too. Check that out. Sick clapping, just keeping the beat there, and it also features a rapper, which his name is Booty Brown. That's that's a goofy name. I'm just saying, dude, you should change the name, because I'm not going to take you seriously, man. Which he does have a decent rap verse here. I could have done without it, and it still would have been a great song. I don't know, it still works. It's still serviceable. The song also has a clever reference in there on George W. Bush mission speech, which they like reference it by saying, "The war is over," says the man in the white suit. But war never changes. I'm not as cool as that guy. I'm just not. And yes, the Gorillaz can kind of get political with their content, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. They don't like beat you over the head with it. Got the modern classic Feel Good Inc., which is short for Incorporated, if you didn't know. The more you know. The song also features La De Soul on it, and he has a really great like rap present in here, just awesome verses from him. The song touches on isolation and escapism, and how unpleasant and boring life can be, and how you want to change it encompasses that really nicely in this song, and while making a super jammable beat. Bass line though is just so iconic, and so is the chorus, and that laughing. Oh my god, I love that laughing in the song. I just always want to laugh too. I can't laugh that cool though. Like, that is the coolest laugh I've ever heard. I can't do it. That is just a badass laugh though. If you ever play Guitar Hero, anyone, if we decide, hey, we're gonna play Guitar Hero and we're gonna play Feel Good Inc., you bet your sweet ass I'm gonna be playing the bass line to this song. The weird thing is, the song is over a decade old and it still hasn't gotten old to me. It's just that good. So throughout this album, the tone just sticks out really nicely. The album just melds perfectly, and as you're coming to the end of the album, you're starting to feel it. You're starting to feel the weirdness seeping in you. The album just seems so flawlessly put together and really thought out that you're just along for the ride. And also, when you watch the music videos with it, it just makes it more visually better. Now we get my favorite Just Dance song ever, because this song's amazing, okay? I can't. I don't even know how to dance to that song. I feel like you would do like a robotic like movement like this. It's kind of one of those rare cases where it's a dance tune and it's not annoying, and the track just moves and it feels so smooth as it's going, and you just jam along with it. And every time I hear this song, I always want to just do this weird dance move or something, like just weird dancing, not like how Noodle does in the music video. And by the way, you guys in that comment section, yeah, you guys, you're monsters. But the cool thing about this track is actually Noodle singing, which is actually, and who plays Noodle in this song is Rosa Sabor. I'm pretty sure that's how you say her name. And then you also got Sean Ryder from Happy Mondays doing most of the, like, you know, it's there, which is kind of funny because the song was actually supposed to go, it's there, but since his vocals kind of sound like it said there, it just totally changed. I'm totally cool with that because it sounds cooler either way. Then we got the song of fire coming out of a monkey's head. Now, this isn't one of my favorite tracks, but this is a track I do appreciate a lot. It's more story-based, and the story actually is pretty cool. It is about a town with people called Happy Folk, and they're invaded by an army of strange folk. And the strange folk, they're wanting to basically harvest what's inside this mountain that's by the town, and basically for their own riches and greed. And then this mountain eventually becomes a volcano and implyingly destroys the town, probably. I hope not. That would be sad. But yeah, that's another dark aspect of this album. But overall, great song, good influences. Then you got more of ambiance with Don't Get Lost in Heaven and Demon Days being the last two tracks, kind of flowing, kind of soothing out the ride, still feeling this really dark edge to them. Then the album just ends, and you're like, I was definitely an experience. Now, if you told me to review this album in 2005, I wouldn't even know what to say. I would just say it's the strangest album I've ever listened to, ever, because at that point it was the strangest album I've ever listened to. Like, I remember listening to this album and thinking, this is really weird, and I remember liking songs like All Alone, and I didn't really like Dirty Harry back then. I don't know why. I love it now, though. And I also didn't like Oh Green World that much, but now I do. It's just like, as time progresses, this album just gets better, I believe. And with how my music taste has changed and what I think is good now than what I thought was good back then, it's just, wow, it's amazing how some albums just grow into these masterpieces, which I believe this is definitely a masterpiece and a classic. This album adds layers to like what the Gorillaz are about with the experimentation. I do love this album, but I feel like I come back to the first Gorillaz album more than I come back to Demon Days. But I also come back to Feel Good Inc. and Dare and Dirty Harry a lot, and I think recently more Green World, or Oh Green World I mean, and this album just builds on the foundation that the Gorillaz have created with their first album, it just makes you excited to listen to what's next, which I'm very excited to talk about the next album, by the way, which is Plastic Beach. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long for your taste. I hope it wasn't too uninteresting. I'm trying to do this on my free time that I have. I only have like a couple hours in a day that I can actually do this stuff. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, that's okay. Just tell me what you think of the album, what you think of the Gorillaz, and what's your favorite music video by the Gorillaz. I'd probably have to say my favorite is maybe Clint Eastwood or Feel Good Inc. And El Mañana is pretty awesome too, which I didn't even talk about that song. That's a classic music video. Oh well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this album review, and check out my other videos. I did review the last Gorillaz album, or the first Gorillaz album I should say. Check it out if you're interested in that. Anyways, I hope you have a great one, and peace.